Since I last presented SB 217, I've amended out language that required the education materials be translated. Now SB 217 simply requires the sexual education materials to be posted online for parents to be able to review them. Given the current distant learning education system, even the recent plan from the legislature to allow schools to open, parents oftentimes cannot physically visit the school to acquire materials that would be taught to their children. Section 51398B1 of the California Healthy Youth Act requires that parents be notified that the material is available for inspection. Schools may be legally exposed if they do not provide the materials for parental review, and limiting in-person inspection during distance learning leaves the internet as the only option for compliance. The shift to the internet-based distance learning has provided an opportunity for schools to get parents more engaged in their child's education, and this bill helps further that goal. All we are doing here is to ensure that parents can be engaged at the level they choose in their child's education. With me today, I have to testify is Kim Nichols, a mother of school-aged children and a representative of the California Catholic Conference, and Jack Gualco of the Gualco Group. Thank you, and I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Dahle. We will now go to lead support. Mr. Gualco, if you are on the line, please proceed, and then we will go to Ms. Nichols. Each of you have 2 minutes.
I am, Madam Chair, members, Jack Gualco with the Gualco Group on behalf of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And the church believes that parents play an important role in the education of children. And parents in our church want to know what is being taught in schools regarding sex education so that they can supplement and assist in this important learning. The church's published position on sex education is that, quote, parents should have honest, clear, and ongoing conversations with their children about healthy, righteous sexuality. As part of their responsibility to teach their children, parents should be aware of and appropriately seek to influence the sex education taught at school, end of quote. A couple of years ago, Madam Chair, our church tried to determine which sex education curriculum was being used in which school districts in California. Unfortunately, most school districts failed or refused to provide that information to parents when parents requested it, even when the parents showed up in person at a district office. We remain concerned that the state of California would mandate such instruction and provide an opt-out opportunity, but not mandate that school districts provide information to parents in order to allow them to make that decision. It leaves parents in the unfavorable position of making that decision in a void. And parental involvement is vital in providing input and helping school districts. In order to be involved in a meaningful way, parents need the transparency that Senator Dahle's SB 217 would require, especially the online option for working parents and those otherwise unable to get to the school districts during business hours. Other states require this, and the state of California should be leading, not lagging, on the issue of transparency. And for those reasons, Madam Chair, we respectfully encourage the committee to vote aye on SB 217. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next up is Ms. Nichols. Please proceed.
Hi, good morning, Madam Chair and members. My name is Kim Nichols, and thank you for allowing me to express my support for SB 217. I am the parent of 2 elementary age children who attend public school in the greater Sacramento area, and I'm thankful to Senator Dahle for recognizing that parents would like to access, sexual health education materials taught to their children to make essentially our busy lives a little easier. And as so many families over the last year have experienced, my kids and I were in full distance learning mode until a few short weeks ago. Distance learning was especially challenging in the beginning because school materials and books were not allowed home initially, and I found myself frantically Googling math questions or trying to learn the most effective way to teach my son how to write a paragraph. And there was often a lot of tension between what I thought a lesson entailed and maybe what my son understood his teacher's intention to be. And once those things were ironed out, materials were provided for home use, distance learning was much smoother, and I was able to assess and assist and answer questions when needed. And in the same vein, I'm supporting SB 217 because it will afford me that same opportunity to review sexual education and health materials presented to my children online in a convenient manner, and then partner with the school to extend that education at home. And this would allow me to prepare to continue to build on the information in the classroom and extend that. And should the need arise, should my children have questions or possibly even have confusion about information that was presented and want clarification, having those materials readily available online would allow us to revisit them at home if needed. And as a working parent, it's important to have the ability just to have that convenience of having them accessible online. Obviously, sexual health education is extremely important. It impacts my children's health in vital ways.
Can you wrap up, please? You're past your 2 minutes. Can you wrap up, please?
Yes. I just encourage you all to support SB 217 and allow me the opportunity to partner with my children's teachers to continue to extend their learning in the classroom into our home environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will go for support here in room 4203. Please come up to the microphone and state your name and your organization and that you support the bill.
Greg Burt from the California Family Council and strong support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Denise Persha, citizen author and of 673, and in support of SB 217.
Thank you. Seeing no one else in 4203, let's go to room 2040. Seeing no one there. Moderator, let's open up the lines for anyone who is calling in telephonically.
Thank you. If you would like to show support for SB 217, please press 1 followed by 0 at this time. Again, for support for SB 217, please press 1 followed by 0. One moment, please. Our first participant will be line 56. Please go ahead, 56. Can you hear us? Moving along, we'll go to line 24. Please go ahead. Madam Chair, can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine, Mr. Moderator.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because the participants are not responding. Line 24, please go ahead. Well, we'll move along to line 39. Please go ahead.
Yes, Penny Harrington from Vista, California, in strong support of SB 217.
Thank you. Line 25, please go ahead.
Dahle Epperson from ACT Monterey Bay, strong support of 217.
Thank you. Next, we will move along to line 26. You are open.
Kelly Shinkoski of Monterey County, California, in strong support of SB 217. Thank you.
Line 44, please go ahead.
Hi, Pat from Santa Clara County in strong support of SB 217 for parent transparency to learn about sex ed.
Thank you. Line 22, your line is open.
Randy Lindquist of San Diego, California, and I am in strong, vital support of SB 217, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Line 54, please go ahead.
Hi, Courtney McDaniel with Advocates for Families and Children in Roseville, California, in strong support of SB 217.
Line 48, you are open.
Hello, my name is Lisa Disbrow. I'm a public school teacher from West Contra Costa Unified School District in strong support.
Line 28, please go ahead.
This is Brian Bowe from Benicia, California. Father, and just extremely supportive of SB 217. Thank you.
Line 37, please go ahead.
Yes, this is Richard Miller. I am a father and pastor of Victory Baptist Church in Atwater, California, and I strongly support SB 217.
31, you are up.
Hi, I am Heather Gibson. I live in Sacramento, California, and I'm a mother, and I strongly support SB 217.
We will move on to line 14. Please go ahead.
Hi, Rachel Crutchfield, strong support of SB 217. Thank you.
Line 33, please go ahead.
Hello, I'm Leah Tuifua, a parent of 5 kids in public schools right now from kinder to high school, and I'm in strong support of SB 217.
Line 38, you are open.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Miller from Atwater, California, and I am in very strong support of this bill.
Line 43, please go ahead.
My name is Yuno. I am a grandmother of 2 kids. I strongly support SB 217. Thank you.
Line 49, you are open.
Hi, I'm Tara Chambers, and I strongly support 217.
Moving along, we will go to line 57. Please go ahead.
My name is Cami Fife. I'm in Rockland, California, and I strongly support SB 217.
Thank you. Line 17, please go ahead. Line 17, you are open.
Am I line 17?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Anna Park from Traditional Values for Next Generation. Excuse me. We strongly support SB 217.
Thank you. Line 23, please go ahead.
This is Carrie Motley from Rockland, California. I strongly support SB 217.
Line 24, you are open.
Hi, this is Julie Holyoke from Rockland, California, strongly in support of 217. Thank you.
Line 41, please go ahead.
William Salzwedel, attorney in Thousand Oaks, California, civil rights. This bill is necessary to make the curriculum regime constitutional, protect parental civil rights.
Thank you. Line 62, you are open.
Yes, hello. My name is Michelle Gonzalez-New. I am here saying I support SB 217.
And as a reminder, to show support for SB 217, please press 1 followed by 0 at this time, and we will go to line 65.
Maria Jose Hernandez Flores with the California Catholic Conference in strong support.
Thank you. Line 66, you are open.
Hi, Tony Rosales from Capital Resource Institute in support of SB 217.
Line 69, please go ahead.
Hi, Marlo Tucker, California State Director of Concerned Women for America. We are in strong support of this bill.
Line 71, please go ahead.
This is Michael McCabe from Chula Vista. I'm in strong support of SB 217.
Line 67, please go ahead.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. My name is Wendy Lease, and I live in Costa Mesa, California. I am strongly in support of SB 217. I am currently a credentialed teacher, grandmother, and mother of 5, and former trustee for the Newport Mesa Unified School District. And I ask for your support because parents
thank you, ma'am.
need to know.
Thank you. Next caller, please.
Teaching.
Line 52, please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Kyunghae Kitahara. I strongly support SB 217.
Madam Chair, we have exhausted the queue.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. We will now go to opposition. I think our lead opposition is Jennifer Chow. Jennifer, are you on the line?
Hi, Senator Leyva, I'm here.
Please proceed. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Jennifer Chow, and I'm an attorney with the ACLU of Northern California on behalf of ACLU California Action, one of the sponsors of the California Healthy Youth Act, or CHIA, which this bill seeks to amend. We oppose SB 217 for a number of reasons. CHIA already addresses transparency for sex ed and strikes a balance that also ensures sufficient flexibility for districts to meet the needs of their individual community. CHIA already requires parent and guardian notifications about their right to review curriculum, which districts facilitate in a variety of ways depending on their capacity and their structure and existing channels for communicating with parents, including preview nights, individual appointments, and in the rare instance not prohibited by copyright, posting materials online. These processes continue to happen even over distance learning. After review, parents and guardians then have the right to opt their student out of instruction if they so wish. If these requirements are not being met, that's a district-level problem that requires a district-level solution. Second, the bill as amended does away entirely with existing requirements for translating notices for parents and guardians. These are critical baseline protections for families who do not speak English as a first language at home. SB 217 imposes a burdensome requirement on sex ed that doesn't exist for other topics. From what we know about the past life of this bill, groups asserting dangerous and false anti-LGBTQ+ messaging are singling out sex ed to be more difficult to implement than other instruction. And throughout the implementation of CHIA, the primary objection of these groups has rarely been to the process of delivering sex ed, but to the fact that CHIA mandated instruction must be inclusive, medically accurate, and objective. By requiring all districts to go back to the drawing board on sex ed, this bill would derail effective, proven health education at a time when students need health education the most. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and we have no other lead opposition. We will go to opposition here in 4203. Seeing none, let's go to 2040. Seeing none. Mr. Moderator, can you please open the line for those who wish to testify in opposition of SB 217?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And again, to show opposition for SB 217, please press 1 followed by 0 at this time. And we'll begin with line 47. Please go ahead.
Good morning. Andrea San Miguel from Planned Parenthood Affiliates of California, calling on behalf of the 7 affiliates in our state who work with schools, school districts, and community organizations to implement CHIA, calling in strong opposition.
Line 51, please go ahead.
Tammy Martin on behalf of Equality California in opposition.
Thank you. Line 61, you are open.
Good morning. Carlos Machado with the California School Boards Association. We are opposed to SB 217. Thank you.
Thank you. One moment. Again, we'll give another reminder to show opposition to Bill SB 217. Please press 1 followed by 0. And line 46, you are open.
Madam Chair and members, this is Erin Evans calling in opposition to this measure on behalf of NARAL Pro-Choice California. Thank you.
Thank you.
Line 50, thank you. Excuse me, Madam Chair. And line 56, please go ahead.
Ryan Spencer on behalf of the American College of OBGYNs, District 9, in opposition.
And at this time, there are no other participants queued up.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. We will bring it back to the committee. Do we have any questions, comments, concerns? Senator Glazer and then Senator Cortese.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to the author for not giving up on a bill and trying to find common ground. I appreciate that. I didn't support the measure previously. You know, the issue of local control is a very big deal to me. But I guess I'd like to ask a question to the lead opposition witness, Madam Chair, if that's okay. That's Ms. Chow from the ACLU.
Yes, please proceed.
So, and obviously a number of the groups that are in opposition are groups that I have great admiration for. So hearing that opposition and looking carefully at it, I take it very, very seriously. Ms. Chow, you used the phrase that this bill would bring us, quote, back to the drawing board. And as I read this measure, it requires that a notice about how parents can inspect. That's all I read the bill doing, is giving guidance on how. So can you explain to me how back to the drawing board? And I know this is a sensitive topic, and I appreciate that. A lot of strong feelings come out in this area. But how does just notifying parents how they can inspect the material, quote, back to the drawing board?
Thank you for that question. Our understanding is that this bill would require many districts to adopt policies, not just about the adoption of curricula, but how that curricula is made available. That would require school districts to take up another vote on to sort of navigate and figure out the details of this new landscape that this bill is proposing for posting materials online. And especially because much of this material is copyrighted, that would require careful district consideration on how to navigate the legal liabilities of that. And, it would require boards essentially to revisit this topic. And in our experience, although many districts have curricula that they've already adopted and that process was smooth, in some districts it has been a challenge due to the amount of objections presented, not to individual curricula itself, but to the content that is mandated by CHIA, by a small group of folks who object to some of the requirements, especially around inclusivity.
Right, and I understand that broader concern, but I want to go back to what's specifically in the bill. And Madam Chair, I don't know if you or our consultant, our committee consultant, can speak to this issue of the criteria. Because
yes, I would be happy to do that. And maybe the opposition is a little bit confused because this is not about new curriculum. This is about the curriculum that's already been established. And this bill is about access, making sure that parents have access to review the information. Author, am I correct?
Couldn't have said it better.
Okay, very good.
Okay, because again, I'm very sensitive to the topic and the opinions that people have, strong opinions in this space. But once again, as I look at the bill that's before us, it's just simply talking about access. So that's where I'm struggling, and certainly would welcome comments from my colleagues to see if they're seeing it differently. But appreciate that clarification.
Thank you, Senator Glazer. Senator Cortese.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a question for the author, if I may. Let me just sort of set the stage for it for a couple reasons. One, I don't want to be misconstrued as just bringing this up for the first time now. I know we had a very brief but I think concise conversation or communication the last time we heard this topic, and my concern was I'm all for transparency. I really do take the author at his word in terms of that's the thrust. What's wrong with transparency? My concern is singling out one subject for greater transparency without just saying, if we need transparency, let's do it across the board. And I think it raises concerns and suspicions, and maybe none of that is warranted, but my sense is that when you zoom in on one particular subject, people say, why that? And I'll just say, let me give a quick example, and then I'll get off the floor here. But as a school board member, we had lots of issues where I argued curriculum by curriculum, we should have greater transparency. Some of them were because of partisanship, government classes, piping in television content to our classrooms, for example. I argued, how do we know that we're not getting partisan content one way or the other? Shouldn't we have greater transparency? I could give more examples. I won't in the interest of time. But that's my concern. I wanted to give you a chance to address it. My sense at this point, as I raise the question, is, that as it stands right now, I would not be voting on this bill one way or the other. But that said, before I make that final decision, I want to hear from you. And again, I want to emphasize that I think, to paraphrase myself, the last time around, I would be happy to support and perhaps even co-author a bill that takes this level of transparency across the board to all education subject matter, because I think I think that that's a good cause in and of itself. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And before I ask you to respond, Senator Dahle, I would just say that The opposition originally told me that they had a problem with the bill everything having to be translated into the language of choice, which I understand because that can be time consuming, it can be unwieldy. And so I asked the author to take that out, thinking that that would remove opposition. And so I was surprised to hear that they are still opposed. And I respect these groups greatly too. I do a lot of work with them as well. So I just want to say that I was surprised that it didn't remove any opposition either. Do we have any other questions or comments before I go to Senator Dahle? Senator Dahle, and I think you were going to accept the amendments.
Yes, so first I want to thank the chair because she's diligently worked with me and trying to shepherd this bill through. And I was a co-author to this bill before, and the author didn't accept amendments and didn't work with the chair, and I thought it was unfortunate. I think we would have been a lot further down the road before COVID happened. I think this is a very good bill. To answer Senator Cortese's question, look, I would love to see all the curriculum put up there. This is a very sensitive area, obviously, for, you've heard lots of testimony today, and, you know, I'm a parent of an 11-year-old daughter, and I'm engaged with her education, as I know most all parents are. And, you know, what's being taught to your children when and what the actual curriculum is something that I think parents should be engaged in. And I think that's why this part of this curriculum has been put out, I've asked for it to be put up on the internet, basically. We are not changing any curriculum. The curriculum that has been adopted is all we're asking for is to just be put up on the internet so parents who can't get to the school or don't have the time to go in and dig through all the material, the material is available. So the question about copywriting as well, if it's been published and it's okay for the school, there shouldn't be any copywriting problems. It's free. It's what they're teaching your student. So I don't understand that argument. Obviously, I'm not an attorney, and I don't understand all the laws around copywriting, but I know that if it's available to my child in the classroom, it's available to me and to the public of what we're teaching our children. So that argument I don't understand. We are not, again, I want to stress, we are not asking to change curriculum. All we simply are asking this piece of legislation to do is put that information up. I wanted it to be translated so everybody could actually access, and I think that's something maybe we should work on as a legislature for all materials. I think, you know, we talk about in California the diverse population and languages we have here and the barriers for those folks to be able to get there. So I was hoping that we would be able to do that in this bill. Obviously, that's going to drive the cost up. It's very difficult for small school districts, but I'll take what I can get in this area. I took the amendments from the committee and the chair. And so for those reasons, I hope I answered your question. I would love to go there, but at this time, I don't think we can get there for a broader information to be put up. But in this area, as I stated earlier, it's been very difficult for some parents, and it's a very sensitive area for those of us who are raising children and want to just make sure that we know what's being taught, when it's being taught, and, you know, we can engage in that, and that's what this is about. So with that, I would ask for an aye vote, and I really want to just stress the help from the chair and the committee staff as well.
Thank you, Senator Dahle. Do we have a motion? Oh, yes. Okay, sorry. One moment. Senator McGuire and then Senator Glazer.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And first and foremost, I just want to say how much I respect and enjoy working with Senator Dahle. He's one of the best and very grateful for your work. I think my issue on this specific bill, twofold. Number one, as a former school board member, my wife is an elementary school principal. My grandfather was an elementary school principal. On the issue of sex ed, if a parent, a guardian wants to be able to opt out of those classes, they have the right to do so now. Number two, if they want to review the material, they have the right to do so now. In no other subject are we posting curriculum online. We don't do it. So why single this issue out? If the ability for the parent or the guardian to already take that student out of the class, and then secondly, to be able to review the material working collaboratively with that district, it's the parent or the guardian's right. Again, this is nothing against the author, because I greatly respect the author. We work together on many issues on natural resources. But you know, again, I have concern on this specific issue because candidly, I just don't know what the need is for this specific issue and not everything else, because I don't find that folks are having a challenge reviewing the material if they want to be able to see it or opting their students out. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator McGuire. Senator Glazer.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair, and I just want to provide a couple clarifying points before the vote. One is that this is not the same bill that we heard by a different author in a previous year. That bill would have required parental consent and opt-in for sexual health and HIV prevention education. That is nowhere in this bill, nowhere in this bill. And this bill has eliminated the requirement for translation, as we have just discussed. That is another significant change. And so all I'm seeing in this bill is an issue of access, and it's a gentle how that, for me, who is very protective of local control, these school districts can make these choices now. And even when you talk about translations, well, if you have more than 15% of your population a language other than English, you should be thinking about translation. I mean, it's part of that responsibility of leadership, and I'd hope that that would happen. I'm glad that we don't, does it have to be a state mandate? Well, we talk about that on different topic areas, and it's a sensitive one because we want people to understand and we want to celebrate the diversity of our great state. But all that this bill seems to be doing, and everything that I can see, is this issue of access of how. And I'm a big supporter of transparency, and I appreciate the Senator from San Jose's leadership in this area as well, and look forward to partnering with him on other ways we can do that. And here's the thing. If we had another sensitive subject, we talk about slippery slope, if we had another sensitive subject, and these things will come and go in the decades, well, it's something for us to talk about and to discuss and see whether it should apply to the same additional elements of how, so that parents can make sure they have access. So given the limitations in this bill and the appreciation to the chair and the author for trying to find common ground in our polarized political environment, I'm happy to support this bill today.
Thank you, Senator Glazer. Can I take that in the form of a motion? Yes. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, very good. Senator Dahle, would you like to close?
Again, I just want to thank the chair and the members of this committee, simply trying to just be transparent and very helpful. I agree. What I said was if the author would have taken the amendments that the chair had suggested, I think we would have been in a different place. And those were these amendments that I took, was what our good chair suggested. So thank you again, and I appreciate it. I vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Dahle. The bill has been moved by Senator Glazer. Madam Consultant, please call the roll.
File item number 1, SB 217. The motion is due pass as amended, but first amend and re-refer to the Committee on Appropriations. Leyva?
Aye.
Leyva, aye. Ochoa-Bogue? Aye. Ochoa-Bogue, aye. Cortese?
Voting.
Cortese not voting. Dahle? Aye. Dahle, aye. Glazer? Aye. Glazer, aye. McGuire? No. McGuire, no. Pan? Pan not voting.
All right, that bill is out 4-1. Thank you very much.